We all sell something. Whether you're more of an opportune and natural seller, like Amanda, whether you're more of an entrepreneur, like Miss Diane, or Corey, or Lakeisha, whether you're an accountant, like me, at some point in life, we all sell something. And many times, when we are put in that situation to sell something or to persuade someone of something, we have the opportunity to have the other person right in front of us, to be able to look them in the eye and have that exchange, being able to look at them, read their nonverbal cues, and understand truly how that other person feels and what that other person wants. There are times, however, where we may be tasked in life to have that type of discussion with someone who we physically can't see. In that instance, only our voice can be used to persuade that person in trying out that product or that service that we want them to try, hence the cold call. My objective tonight is to share with you some tips on how to effectively make a cold call if ever you find yourself in that predicament. And like many in this room, this is something that is not natural to me, so I'm going to share tips with you as we learn together. First, when it comes to making a cold call, the first thing you want to remember is that you are there to serve and not to sell. Just like with any leadership role, you have to make sure that your focus is on that buyer. You want to understand your buyer. You want to make sure you tune into his or her needs. You want to make sure that you're doing what's in the best interest of that person. You're not really going to try to bash them over the head and honk them down and say, I need you to buy this, buy this, buy this, do this. You want to be in tune with that person. You want to guide them, you want to lead them. And the ways that you do that, some helpful tips. First, do your homework. Make sure you are aware of the product or the service that you're trying to sell, because the person that you might be selling to probably is going to have some questions. They're going to need some guidance, and they need to be able to have a conversation with you. So you need to make sure that you are knowledgeable about that product or that service. Secondly, be honest. How many times have you seen those commercials or those infomercials on TV that say, send us 3 payments of $5.99 and we'll send you this box and you can drink this liquid and it'll help you lose 50 pounds in 10 minutes. As a buyer who might be on the other side of that and who might see that and say, I want to try that, there is nothing more disappointing than ordering something from TV or something from a commercial that you may have seen in order to get it and open it and realize you just wasted your money on a piece of trash, because that particular salesperson was not honest. Be honest about the product. Next, be realistic. Every product, every service is going to have some flaws. There may be some disadvantages. It may not always be on the up and up. And if that's the case, and the buyer brings to you, the potential buyer brings to you their concerns, or there's something that you know about that may needs to be addressed during the conversation, don't be afraid to talk about it. You need to be real with your buyer, because at the end of the day, if they do become somebody who does purchase that product, they're going to find out one way or another. And it's best if you're just upfront about it and they find out about it from you. Also, make sure that you do your best to maintain open and honest communication. Oftentimes with a cold call, it's not just a one-stop shop. You make the call a success and you're done. Maybe way back when. But now in the age of technology, a lot of times it takes people who are truly salespeople multiple attempts in order to actually get a sale, because people have questions. People have time to think, and people know that that phone is just a click away. They should always be able to reach out to you to ask their questions. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining honest and open communications with that person. But at the end of the day, remember to focus on your buyer. The buyer is key. And if your buyer is unfamiliar with your product, you're not merely selling an asset, but you are that asset. If the potential buyer has no prior communication, no prior intentions with that product, what they're going to do is they're going to associate their communication with you or their interaction with you with that product. For instance, this camera. If I'm trying to sell a camera to someone who maybe is Amish, has never seen a camera before, doesn't know anything about it, their interaction with me is how they're going to view that camera, because they don't have any prior associations with it. So you want to make sure that you're sincere as a buyer. Make sure you have their best interests at heart. And you want to make sure that you're having open, honest communications. That's going to conclude the first part of the speech is going to be a role play. So for this particular part, I'm going to ask anyone who does not have a reason to keep their eyes open to close their eyes, because we're going to have a role play of a phone conversation, and I want you to listen, because once the role play is over, you will be asked questions to interact with me, to share with me tips I can use to get better at a potential cold call situation, if and whenever that comes, and those sorts of things. So at this time, I would ask anyone who does not necessarily need to have their eyes open to close their eyes while I make my call to my potential client. Hi, Langford Blair?
Yes, this is Langford. How are you this morning?
Oh,
This
wow. My name is Victoria Harris, and I'm calling on behalf of Amazon. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time, but I was hoping you had a few minutes so I could ask you some questions and see if you might be interested in one of our various air fryers. I see that you've had the Cozina digital air fryer model in your Save for Later query for weeks now. And I was wondering if you could just take a moment to discuss it. Are you in a good place to talk right now?
Well, actually, Victoria, I'm in the middle of fixing breakfast for my guests, so I only have about 2 minutes. Could you?
Okay, we could definitely talk in 2 minutes, and if we need to schedule a time at a later time to discuss more, we definitely can do that. My first question for you is, how interested are you in still purchasing an air fryer?
I'm moderately interested.
Moderately, okay. Do you have any prior experience with an air fryer?
No, only what I've seen on TV.
Okay, okay. Very cool. So how do you mostly know about the air fryer? Is it only through TV, or do you have any friends who might have an air fryer that you've ever seen or tested out?
Only through what I've seen on TV.
Okay.
Victoria, my waffles are on the iron.
Waffles on the iron. It's okay. I understand. If you have to go ahead and do that. But I just want to say thank you for your time. Can we set up a time later to maybe talk a little bit more? I do see that it was in your cart, and I do want to make sure that if you have any questions about it, if I can help you guide you through it, because I do see at one point you had it ready to purchase, and then maybe you said, okay, maybe a little bit later.
Well, yeah, maybe call me in the afternoon after breakfast is served, so I guess, and I'll have more time to speak with you.
Okay, is there a particular time that works best?
After 12 would be fine.
After 12? All right, I will give you a call after 12. Well, thank you so much, Langford.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, you guys may open your eyes now. That was brutal for me. Let me just put it out there and be very clear. So I had a conversation. I can see everybody. I had a conversation with fellow club member Langford, and he did a great job. Thank you so much, Langford, for being that person. I felt comfortable talking to him. I did not know how to answer some of the questions, but at the end of the day, he was personable, he was friendly, and we set up a time in order to finish the conversation, because like I said earlier, a lot of times with cold calls, you're not going to get it on the first try, and especially in this day and age, people will call you 10 times a day, different numbers. They'll try all types of schemes. I actually got a cold call at work right before I left this afternoon from someone I don't even know who just tried to friend me on LinkedIn. So people come at you from all different types of angles. So a lot of times you just have to maintain that open communication and try to keep it going. And if you need to set up a later time, we definitely conclude part 2 of the presentation. And now is part 3, which is basically 2 to 3 minutes of informal Q&A, giving me some feedback, letting me know what areas I could have improved on, what things you may have noticed during the cold call. Did the cold call seem to line up with part 1 of the speech and the things that I talked about, or did things seem different? Please let me know, and anybody can talk at this time. The floor is open. Mike, yes.
I thought, thinking of how to handle it, I thought when you called them and said, now I'm calling you, you have this in your card. I was curious about what things had interested you specifically about it. You asked if you still, yeah. Well, why did you put this one in your card? Yeah.
That would have been a great question to ask, the why. Basic question. Good. Okay, I will note that, most definitely. All right, does anybody else have any feedback?
So I'm curious to know how you determined that it's okay to call him Langford as opposed to Mr. Blair.
Okay. That is good. I definitely appreciate that, and I will go ahead and address that. One technique that I did see that a lot of people are doing nowadays is that they are addressing people by their first name. In a sense, it's to immediately build more rapport versus if you make it more formal. If I say, hello, Mr. Langford Blair, hello, Mr. Blair, That, for some people, that automatically alarms you. This is somebody marketing, they want something from me. But a lot of times we talk about it their first name. Whether you know them or not, it helps you to build that, or helps you to ease that rapport. So that's the reason why I did that, but that's a great question. Thank you so much. And Alma?
In that same part that Mike brought up, why I called you. To me, I think you said, I'm going to paraphrase here, it was something like you called to see if you're still interested. I think that you could put a lot more punch into that. I wanted to personally reach out today to you to give you the opportunity to make this decision. You must still have some hesitation. Like, I don't care if you're interested, I don't care if he's interested in a fryer, I want to know if he wants to buy it, and here's his opportunity, you know, like, like make it like it's a win-win for him today.
I like that.
Like,
yes.
it's obvious he's still interested because it's still there. It's not deleted.
Okay.
I do that all the time. I leave that stuff there. I'm gonna buy it, but wait.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. I'll definitely take note of that. All right. Somebody else had their hand up, didn't they? I'm making mental notes right now. I'm gonna write it down as soon as I sit down. Yes,
I was thinking the same if you got into the why, that you could have started giving him the benefits sooner. It seemed like it was kind of drawn out and you didn't really get anywhere. So if you had maybe gone with that and then start telling him how it could benefit him and use that time more wisely to suck him in to,
okay.
yes, he does want it.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, when you call back, he's not gonna answer.
I don't do that. I shouldn't say that on camera, but I don't. I'm gonna ask, oh, go ahead, Alma.
This is a technique that I learned from a very good boss that I had, and he never let someone walk away. I'll give you an example. He called me in his office, he said, when's this guy coming to fix this? I said, it's coming at the end of the week. And my boss said, would you just give him a call and ask him which day that is? Right? I'd call the guy up. Will that be Thursday or Friday? The guy said, Thursday. Right? I hang up the phone. My boss says, will that be morning or afternoon? I said, oh man, you know, I just want to call him to the table. I call him back up. Morning or afternoon? The guy on the phone is like, what are you bugging me about? Yeah, in the afternoon. I hang up the phone. My boss says, call him back. Will that be 1 or 2? Right?
Oh, wow.
Now what happened with that is I have a time at 1 o'clock, his phone's ringing. And I've kept my word. That's part of the contract and the honesty, right, that you were talking about. So, to me, I've nailed him down. If he doesn't answer at 1, then he's blocked me, you know?
Right. That's specific. Okay, that's very good. Thank you so much. And then I think our guest may have heard.
Yeah, I couldn't see you with my eyes closed, but they say to smile while you're on the phone because people can feel it on the other side.
Okay. Yes, I was very nervous. I probably was. Faces everywhere. All right, I'm gonna ask Emmanuel, who I feel like is our resident salesperson. Emmanuel, tell me something, man, please.
Oh well,
What could I have done to?
I think my expertise is like face to face, but when I think of cold call, one thing that I usually used to point out to my salespeople was always accept only 3 no's. Before getting off the phone, you kind of get 3 types of rejection. It doesn't have to be literal no's, but it has to be I'm thinking about it, or oh, my fryer is going on. It's kind of like you kind of want to get pesky before you accept the I'm never going to talk to you ever again, because like Lakeisha said, she's probably not going to answer the phone that second time around. Also, you always want to go into the conversation as if you already assumed they're going to buy it. You just want to help them get along to that point. So what things are troubleshooting you from buying this fryer? I know you want to buy it. How can I help you buy it? Or you want to buy it at a certain time, or you're looking for this type of things? We can go through some options for you, or that type of thing.
Okay.
Sounds fair enough is a key word, because everything always sounds fair. So it's just like, hey, I want to go through some processes with you. Sounds fair enough? Cool. Okay, we're going to go through this, and we're going to talk about different things. It takes away the option of them saying, nah, I don't want to do that, or yes, I want to do that. It's just like, sounds fair enough? I'm doing you a favor, right?
Okay, yes, some great tips. Yes, I like that. So I'm keep going to you some of the light.
I think it's easier for him to maybe say that because Brother Langford put the pressure on you.
I get a lot of phone calls at 9 o'clock. which is the time that we are serving breakfast. So, hey, rather than be impolite, I try to tell people, hey, it's not a really good time.
And that's usually the time when you offer to sound fair enough. Oh, you got your stuff on the fryer? Well, I want to talk to you about this fryer that you got on for 5 minutes. Sound fair enough?
Okay, touche.
But the food was burning, so.
Sounds fair enough.
He had to go.
I understand, there's smoke going out. We got 5 seconds.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. I did not see the green light, but I'm going to assume my time is up. So I know I've been talking for quite some time, but thank you all. Your input is very, very important to me, and it will definitely help me to grow as a Toastmaster.